Hey, good morning, team. Welcome to week one of OS 180 Principles of Supervision. Once again, I'm Dave. So, what are we going to talk about this week? We're going to kick off the course. We're going to talk about the differences between management, leadership, and supervision. All right? We're going to do some reflection. We're going to start the course off with some reflection. We're going to reflect on supervisors and leaders that have made an impact on us. And we're going to reflect on our onboarding process. What was our first impression when we got hired, when we started a new job in our new career? Were we welcomed? Were we just given an HR package and said, sign here? Uh, did they make us feel part of the team? And how did they do that? And we're also going to plot a way forward. We're going to come up with some long-term and short-term goals for our own personal development using smart objective writing. And so I'll talk a little bit about this. This is also, it's all in the reading too. So ask yourself right now, what is the difference between a manager and a leader? All right. I'll give you a short definition. You manage processes, you manage things, you lead people. Right? I think that's actually a quote from uh, General Dempsey. I'm not sure though. It might be Colin Powell. So, anyways, yeah. So you manage processes like operational management or the eval process or your performance evaluations, but you lead people. So what does that mean, right? And what is good leadership? Well, believe it or not, good leadership is hard to define. We know bad leadership when we see it, but good leadership is hard to define. Why? Because leadership is a two-way street, right? It's the person leading and the people following. And it, there's a medium in between. It has to be right for the culture. It has to be the right time for the leader to be effective. So there's a good definition from in the Leadership Challenge by Kuzes and Posner. I usually mispronounce their names, but I think I did good there. And they said simply, leadership is the art of influencing people to reach a common goal. Hmm. And that's pretty close to all of the other ones. But I like that definition. One, it's easier to remember. They describe leadership as an art, which I think it is. It's not a science. I think most people would say that management is a science, right? We have processes, we have things that we have to do. There's measurables, right? Outputs that we have to measure to manage properly. But how do you measure leadership? Is it just bottom line? Did the company become more profitable? Therefore, that's an effective leader. What if the company's becoming more profitable, but you have a high turnover rate because of bad leadership? So these are things we have to think about with leadership. So what's supervision and how does a supervisor fit in, right? A supervisor is generally fills the role of either a manager and a leader, right? They inspire. They're the direct link between managers, and a supervisor may be a manager and a leader also. So this is kind of a mix right here. Wow, that was kind of cool. So, there's a mix going on with the role of a supervisor. You don't have to be in an official leadership role to be a leader. Many of us have had co-workers that have led us through things. They may have coached, they may have mentored. That's something we're going to talk about in this course, by the way, coaching and mentoring. But they may have, led us through a difficult time or a difficult process at work. And they may still lead us in other ways, but they're not yet in an official leadership role. So you got to ask yourself, do you need to really be in an official leadership role to be a leader? I don't think so. I have been led by many of junior people and inspired by many of junior people that were not leaders. They were not, getting paid for it. They just did it. And they have that leadership uh, karma that you want to follow and you want to gain their knowledge. So reflect back on that because leaders show up in the most peculiar places, the people that inspire us. So, we might have been, when you reflect back on supervisors and leaders that have inspired you and motivated you, think back, you might have had a coach, you might have had a teacher, uh, a religious leader, that they were your leadership inspiration. That's what's happening, right? So there's a little bit on the differences. Let me see my notes here. Oh, and so as we move through this week, right, there's a video I want you to see on the cost of a bad boss. So, as we mentioned, a supervisor is generally the first line link to managers and leaders. And because of that, they directly impact employees' attitudes and performance. And most employees, it's almost 75%, say they leave their place of employment because of their direct supervisor. That's huge. That's a huge impact because of the interactions or the leadership qualities or management qualities of their direct supervisor. They leave. That that and now you have to replace, you have to advertise, you have to retrain. So that is a huge cost. So anyways, so as assignments for this week, we have two discussion boards that we have to do. One is to reflect back on supervisors that have inspired you or not inspired you, failed to, and a discussion board on onboarding process to reflect back on a previous job that you've had and compare it to your readings in chapters 1, 2, and 3 this week and describe what they did right or what they did wrong, what they could have done better for your onboarding process. And also, there's a discussion board for you to acknowledge the expectations for this course. That's just read and acknowledge. And then I said your written assignment for this week, right, is 3 long-term and 3 short-term personal or professional goals for yourself. And I said they have to be done in SMART format. So in the book, it describes and gives some examples of what SMART objectives are. They have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be achievable, they have to be wow, I'm forgetting the uh, are reliable, and they have to be timely. So let's take a look at that. So if I write a goal, a personal goal, let's say I want to lose 30 pounds, and I want to, when I say timely, I say I want to do it within a week. That's not timely. It's also not realistic. That's what the R stands for, realistic, right? Who can lose 30 pounds within a week? Uh, So that's not a realistic goal. So when you write your goals, think about this. I want to lose 30 pounds within a month. There's a good time there, 30 month. Is it, achievable? Can I achieve that? I think I might. So that it's specific, lose 30 pounds, right? So is it measurable? Yes, 30. Is it achievable? Yes. Is it realistic? Yeah, it is. And do I have a time with it? Yeah, within 1 month. Okay, so now that makes a SMART goal. But if you say I want to, go from have my bank account from 0 to 1 million within 1 year, well, that's not very realistic unless you are John Maynard Keynes in the 1930s there. So you know, yeah, think about your goals and what you want. And this is only for you and me to read. We're not sharing this with classmates. So yeah, if you want to get something personal, okay, go for it. But that's all we have for this week. Okay, so once again, thank you. Census Day, get the discussion board in immediately. And yeah, if you have any questions, please contact me. Okay, Dave out.